What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And today I'm back again, this time for my coach's evaluation defense. Of course, like I told y'all, Ron will be evaluated on the offensive side and the defensive side. You can see my previous videos where I evaluated the front office and the offense. But now it's time for the defense. And this is a defense that we're all expecting to be top level this year. You know, we've been led by this defense several years now. And what's happening is that this year in particular, we expect for them to be very big. And the thing about this is that they have to. If this team falters defensively this year, we're talking about the fact that we as a team is going to lose a lot of guys in free agency. And if this team falters defensively, our entire season is over with. Now, I will be doing a season, my season breakdown and my season prediction show. But again, this right now, the thing right now, is my evaluation of the defensive coaches. So let's start at the top. Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera needs to, unlike on the offense where I say he needs to stay out of the way, Ron Rivera needs to really act like he understands defense. I mean, he was a part of the 1985 Chicago Bears defense and was a part of that Bears defense for a very long time. But the fact that he's sitting here and acting like he doesn't see holes in the defense, especially at that linebacker position, it shocks me that he doesn't get more involved with certain things. Like the fact that he doesn't feel the need to actually go in there and start coaching the linebackers himself, you know, telling them what their roles really are. Now I understand you have a coach for that, but when you've played linebacker in the NFL like yourself and your defensive coordinator, the one group you should have the most confidence in is the linebackers. And the fact that hasn't bled through is insane. So at this point, Ron has to do something about these linebackers. He has to get himself involved. Even if that means taking his shoes off, putting on a shirt, doing something. Hell, put on a leather, back in the day, leather football helmet, something. Do something so these linebackers can get in line, because we've been talking about the linebackers the whole time Ron has been here. And the fact that we're still talking about him and he's done nothing about it, it boggles the mind. So again, Ron needs to get more involved when it comes to the linebackers. Next is Jack Del Rio. We got to see what wrinkles he's come up with this defense. Because now you're talking about year 4. He's now starting to get more acclimated to the new NFL. Again, I've told y'all for years he was running that outdated Tony Dungy's Minnesota defense for the longest. And he's now starting to kind of get a grasp of what is going on. What we need to see is more things that, you know, is seeing Chase and Montez do more attacking on the edges. Like, we need to see them actually be more of a factor in this defense instead of trying to get them to hold the edges and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with rushing these guys and just using them to rush the passer. You might get a better outcome with that. But again, this is stuff that we have to see. We have to see if Jack has in fact put some wrinkles in this defense. Are we going to see Cam Curl in the safety position full time and not down in that Buffalo nickel position? He has to get away from that position. I understand that, yeah, it might make his numbers go up high even when because he's a free agent, but still, you're still talking about it's time to let him be the free range safety that he is because he is that good. I mean, he's not getting the opportunity to really go after the ball and attack the ball. So, again, we got to see the wrinkles that Jack Del Rio has put in to this new defense. Next is Jeff Zona. Again, another one of these young up-and-coming coaches who's been doing a fantastic job with his unit. You're talking about, we've seen him develop we've seen him develop a lot of these defensive line guys and do a good job at it. Now, this year will probably be one of his toughest years because a lot of his group will be free agents this upcoming season, and you're talking about the fact that he has to do something about KJ Henry, who currently right now doesn't look like he was worth the value that they picked him at. Again, but when you also put in Andre Jones, Andre Jones has been doing a fantastic job. Last year, you're talking about John Ridgeway came in and played immediately. Didn't seem like there was a lot of stuff that was going on between him and his understanding of the system. And a lot of that I had to contribute to Jeff Zona. Again, he's another one of these guys, up-and-coming coaches, who's done a fantastic job with his unit. And again, like I said, the only thing he has to deal with right now is KJ Henry's ability to see if he can get something out of him, because right now he doesn't look like it. But everybody else looks like they're ready to play. And a lot of that I have to contribute to Jeff Zona. Next is Steve Russ. And for all of you who followed me and this channel for a while, for some of y'all who haven't, but for everybody who has, I've been talking about this guy for the longest. I've been talking about how in the hell does this guy keep his job. Scott Turner got fired. Somehow, some way, Steve Russ, who's had the worst unit on this defense the entire time he's been here, has somehow found a way to keep his job. And you're talking about, now we're talking about year 4 of Kaliki Hudson, and he's now just developing. Like, I mean, like, this has been probably the most insane thing Ron has done in regards to just staying with somebody for way too long. Like, when Scott Turner got fired, I was for certain Steve Russ was out the door too. Nope, somehow Steve Russ kept his job. He's had successfully the worst unit in Ron's entire tenure here. And no matter what goes on, he always finds a way to keep his job. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's saying. But man, for this guy to keep his job as much as he does, it is like the craziest thing ever. I mean, I am absolutely mind blown that Steve Russ somehow, some way is still here and still kept a job. I can't understand it for the life of me, but the man still has a job. I mean, I just don't get. I don't see how you can have the worst unit ever and you still keep your job. I mean, it's just mind blowing to me. But again, that's Steve Russ. Man, the only way he's going to be fired is when Ron gets fired. That's it. I mean, Steve Russ, I just don't get it. And last but not least is another guy similar to Bobby Ingram. He's taken over a unit that was led by a fantastic coach in Chris Harris, and that's Brett Wieselmeyer. He's now the defensive backs coach. And currently, right now, his unit isn't looking that sharp, especially the young guys. You're talking about Castro Fields and also Wild Goose. Both got cut because they looked bad in the preseason. I mean, it even got to a point where Wild Goose's eyes were so big, you could see that whatever was going on, he was just being picked on, and it was like almost like, oh my God, I'm about to lose this job. And they did not look good. Quan Martin's development does not look that great. So again, we're talking about a coach that's taken over for a guy who led the unit very well and was able to develop young guys really well. I mean, Cam Curl, Derek Forrest. He's been able to really get these guys on board. Benjamin St. Juice. So again, Danny Johnson, Jeremy Reeves. So you're talking about a coach taking over for a fantastic coach that was here, and right now his unit don't seem that strong. I mean, even though of course we got Cam and we got Derek Forrest and we got our Kendall and St. Juice, but again, and even Emmanuel Forbes isn't looking that bad because again, but he came in with a lot of that skill already. But again, when you talk about some of these other guys, it's not looking that good for him. So again, I understand he's taking over for a fantastic coach, but he's going to have to find a way to make this work because again, if his unit don't look that good this year, it's going to be a problem. So that is my coaches' evaluations and breakdowns. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Do y'all think that there are a lot of these coaches that should still have that you're surprised that they still have their jobs? And what do you think about Jack's new move to eventually add wrinkles to this defense? Not only that, what do you expect more out of this? Do you expect more out of this defense, or is this defense exactly where you think it should be? You tell me what y'all think. Like, subscribe, and comment. This has been your man John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.